You do know that what's gonna happen is we're gonna have this 1 hour recording, and then once we hit stop, Audacity's gonna crash, and then we're gonna lose our recordings, right? That's what usually happens from what I can tell.
That sounds like fun. Sounds like fun.
And then we just give up and kill ourselves afterwards.
Hey, just remember, my side only has the my audio, which I guess is what you want. But
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, we can upload half a podcast. No, fuck it. We'll do it live.
Okay.
Alright, everyone, welcome to the Retrospective Collective podcast. Holy shit, that's hard to say. Do you mind? Can you do that? Can you do that? I don't want to do that.
The Retrospective Collective?
Yes, and then podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Retrospective Collective
podcast.
Podcast. I forgot that part. Is that part of the title, though?
I don't know. We'll see what the title goes.
It's in the works.
I'm one of your hosts, Tristan Jung.
I'm your other host, Albert Corsten.
This is the podcast for the Retrospective Collective. Oh, that was a bad idea. Where, I guess, I don't know, I kind of meant this to be a supplement for the essays, but I kind of think it can just be its own thing. And then maybe we can figure out the name later, ?
You just hated on your own name, man.
Yeah, I mean, I never actually said it out loud when I was coming up with it, so now I realize it's a bad idea.
You only said it in your brains?
Mm-hmm. In my head voice.
Your brains.
But this podcast is mostly gonna be, it's gonna be like half and half. We're kind of gonna wrap up on bi-weekly news in the gaming industry. And then the latter half, we're going to go over a classic retro game. And just kind of have an open discussion there.
I don't know the game, by the way, so this is going to be a surprise for me.
Oh, yeah, you're going to be pretty excited about this one.
It's going to be like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like a really shitty old game I've played.
It's going to be...
I don't know if I'm supposed to swear on this podcast or not.
I don't know how the iTunes explicit tag works, but we already said fuck. Anyways, the essays are supposed to be kind of a very serious tone, and then this one will be a lighthearted supplement to them. So we have kind of the best of both worlds, if you're not into the serious shit. And with that, I guess we'll kind of kick things off with news of the week, the past 2 weeks. Albert, do you want to grab something from the bag?
Grabbing from a bag. Mm-hmm. We're gonna grab. Okay, so... You said 2 weeks. Let's be honest. It's kind of just 1 week, but...
Well, this is the pilot episode.
2 weeks ago was like, Switch came out, everything's crazy.
We already missed that boat.
That boat sailed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's still sailing, but... So our first one is Mass Effect Andromeda.
Oh.
So that has been getting very mixed... I think the review... I didn't actually look this up. Let me check. I don't think the review embargo has gone off yet. But I think it's kind of like Breath of the Wild had that preview embargo.
Right.
I think Mass Effect had the same thing. And essentially, it's getting very mixed feedback from it.
When is that game coming out exactly? Is it soon?
I think it's next week.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, March 21st. So it's coming up on next Tuesday. Yeah. So I don't know if anyone's revealed the actual review embargo date.
I think it's off by a few days. If it's coming out on 21st, I would assume the embargo lifts on Monday.
I actually want to check to make sure it's not on the day of release. Okay, yes, it is Monday. March 21st is the 21st. 21st. Mm-hmm. Is the embargo, which is a little worrisome, but
I mean, I did see these articles, and I did see the GIFs. It seems like this game is basically a meme generator, from what I can tell, right? Like, things are so goofy and so broken. I'm kind of wondering how this even happened.
I mean, we were reading that article. I did read you that post the other day of a user stating that this was kind of pretty much not the same team that made the first trilogy, and that's causing a lot of problems because I can't track where, but the BioWare team has gone everywhere since the original. Like, I would even say since, I mean, just the team change from Mass Effect 2 to Mass Effect 3 was pretty big. I think one of the lead writers left after Mass Effect 2, and you could definitely tell there was a drop in the quality in the writing in Mass Effect 3. But if I recall, some of them went to make the Banner Saga series of games.
I see.
And they made their own studio on that, but I don't know where the others have gone, but slowly but surely they're disappearing.
I mean, I was talking about before that I have never played a Mass Effect game, and you were kind of pushing me to play one. This is probably not the best game to start with, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait to see when that full verdict comes out. I mean, people have can nitpick RPGs to death. I mean, for the third Mass Effect, they hated the end. Like, I don't know if you remember back in, what was it, 2012, almost 2013 when Mass Effect 3 came out? That ending just got destroyed, and people got pissed at BioWare and EA.
I'm gonna grab one from the bag, and
your bag.
Here's a happy news. Horizon Zero Dawn sold 2.6 million units in 2 weeks. Under 2 weeks, actually.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. I was actually looking up...
Who made Horizon Zero Dawn?
Guerrilla Games.
I've never heard of
that. Oh,
that.
come on. The game studio most known for the classic called Killzone.
Oh, okay. Well, I've only owned a PS1, so you're gonna have to carry me on all these PlayStation topics.
Yeah, so...
unless they're multiple release, of course.
Guerrilla Games made Killzone, which was a hit on PlayStation 2 and 3, and then they made Killzone Shadowfall, which was a launch title for PS4.
I remember you being very sad when you had that game.
That game was garbage. Full stop.
What happened?
I don't know. It was a pretty game, but it was really boring. It was like a 20-hour game. It was really boring.
Just wasn't fun?
It just was not fun.
Possibly did the formula just get old? Or was it just not that?
I did not play Killzone 1, 2, or 3, so I don't know if it got old, but I've played other shooters, I think, ? And...
You think?
I think... And Shadowfall was not a fun one. So I guess they kind of turned things around and, like, tried out a different genre, because Horizon is very similar to, I would say, Tomb Raider, like the new Tomb Raider.
Okay. How about, have you played it?
Horizon?
Have you just seen gameplay? Yeah.
Just
played it? Or?
Just gameplay. Well, I'm sorry, but I was playing Zelda.
Can you compare it from what I've seen? I've seen very little of it because I don't have a PlayStation, so I'm not too invested in it. But wait, it is a PlayStation exclusive, correct?
Yes.
Or
PS4.
I'm pretty sure.
Only.
Yes,
Yep.
Okay. Is it anything like the Far Cry games in terms of the open world? Or is it somewhat different?
I mean, in terms of open world, yes, but not in terms of gameplay, because it's a third person. There's a little bit more collecting going on, right?
Okay.
I also did not enjoy Far Cry 3, so I didn't really spend too much time because I kept getting killed by sharks.
What?
Sharks or something. I don't know. There were some animals that always killed me. That's a thing, right? Am I remembering?
Yeah, that is a thing. That is
thing.
Definitely a thing. Sharks are scary in that game, by the way.
Yeah, they are. That's why I stopped playing that game.
You know, the only thing that gives me more anxiety than that is when I'm playing Breath of the Wild and the Guardian piano music plays. And you're like, oh god! Oh god!
That's when you pick up your Switch from the dock and just throw it out the window.
Just throw it out.
Throw it out.
Just throw it
no
out.
More. I did not sign up for this.
Okay. I digress, though. That was...
Yeah. But yeah, I just want to mention that I think that almost tops the Zelda sales, or at least the Switch sales, because Switch only moved to like 1.5 million in a week, 2 weeks.
Wait, the Switch sales?
Yeah, the Switch sales. I couldn't get concrete numbers.
I'm seeing it's almost near 2 million.
Okay.
It's almost 2 million.
So that's insane. That Horizon, like a new IP.
To sell that well against a launch console with a title like Zelda coming out and Neo Automatica?
Mm-hmm. Nier.
Yes.
Nier. You keep getting that
Nier.
confused. No, Nier's a weeb game that nobody wants to admit they're playing. So I don't think that's...
Is it really? Okay. I don't know about that, but
I mean, from the short amount of gameplay I've had, it was slightly weird, I would say.
Huh. Okay. Well, I was gonna bring up one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how much Final Fantasy 15 sold?
Yes, 4 million.
4 million. Okay. So it's well on track, I would say, to sell more than that. But I guess it's comparing a JRPG versus a Western RPG.
I also lied. FF15 sold. Well, I mean, when I looked up 4 million, that was I believe a month after it came out. But now it's at 6 million.
Okay. So memorize and I know that it sold crazy amounts in the beginning. But then again, you think about it, right? This game's been in development for forever, so
right.
That game has Final Fantasy 15, which could cause more hype, I guess, because people were waiting for it for so long. But
I'm sure
cool.
People died waiting for that game, legitimately. Like,
I'm trying to think about just the logistics of competition with a Switch game and a new console versus an existing console, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it had to affect it a little, but at the same time, I think about it and having to invest $300. I mean, you could buy it for the Wii U, but almost no one had a Wii U, so I'm not going to count that. I had a Wii U, but I didn't. Yeah, I was like, no way, I'm buying this for Breath of the Wild for the Wii U. Anyways, what I was going to say is that I think that it might have not impacted as much as we think, because it's how many PS, like, I don't know, I'm looking right now, let's see, 55.3 million PS4s have been sold, and then, like, compared to the number of Switches, or the investment to get a Switch and a game for the Switch, I mean, everyone's just going to be like, just give me the $60 game rather than the $360 Zelda machine or whatever. So, yeah, but that's cool. That's probably, I mean, I'm trying to think of other recent big releases that have come out, and, I mean, what do we have? Like, For Honor was like the last big one to come out.
That did not go well, or so I've heard.
Yeah, and I mean, before that, it was kind of the winter season, and that's kind of the dead season for video games to come out, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's ramping up now.
Yeah,
it's gonna get crazy very soon. It's already crazy right now.
We hit Q1, right? We hit Q1, so that's when the games come out, right? Because they want to start off their fiscal years, right?
So they can slack off for the rest of the year.
Yep. So Eiji Onuma can sit back and be like, "Yep,
made my $50 billion."
And then he looks over at Sakurai and he's like, "Where's your $50 billion game on the Switch?
Where's your Smash?
Where's your life gone?" Oh, that's right, you don't have one. Okay. Yeah. That's cool.
Let's grab whatever's next. I'll leave it up to you.
We have this Blizzard wants $8.5 million from a cheat maker for copyright infringement.
I actually did not read this one yet.
You did not read this one?
Yeah, but give us the lowdown.
So essentially there's a cheat maker for, I think it was WoW, was it? Or no, it was Overwatch. Sorry, it was Overwatch. Oh, it was both, Overwatch and WoW.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially they made a cheat that did stuff. I don't play too much WoW, so I don't really know exactly what it means in terms
gold
of that.
farming.
But essentially, I don't know if it was a bot per se. I mean, obviously Overwatch was probably an A-bot of some sort, but I don't understand the WoW one. But essentially, it was a DMCA copyright infringement, and they're seeking $8,500,063.
That's a lot of money.
For damages. Yes, and that is an incredible amount of money. Oh, and yes, you're correct. It was a bot.
Oh my god.
That they were selling. So, I mean, this is one of the first cases that we've seen of a AAA publisher going after a cheat maker for especially this large of money.
Did
And
Valve
apparently,
ever sue cheat makers? They didn't do that, right?
I haven't heard of any specific lawsuits regarding the Valve games. And looking into it, it was they based it off of $200 per infringement, and it sold apparently 42,000, almost 43,000 copies. So that's how they priced it out.
That's insane. That's like maybe in the early 2000s when you're using like LimeWire to download music.
Oh,
and then
yes.
there's like this one-off, very unlucky person that gets caught, and then they're charged something ridiculous, like $2,000
like $1 billion
per
right?
song.
Like, it was $10,000 per song. And yeah. So I don't know if this is interesting because it might help in showing that making video games cheats is bad, but at the same time, the cheat maker came from Germany, which Germany has very strong. I don't know how relations between copyright stuff and between the North America and Europe works, but I just want to compare it to Asia, where definitely a lot of the cheat makers reside, and the fact that they don't really go after that much stuff in terms of copyright infringement when it comes over to international borders. So I'm just intriguing to see where this is going to go when it comes to legal action and cheat makers. I mean, I just think of looking over the article, I just find it interesting that this was a legitimate company, it seems.
Yep.
Because there's a CEO and everything. While I'm not sure that's the same with a large majority of cheat maker. I don't know where a lot of cheats come from. I think a lot of them come from Russia and the Asia area over there. But yeah, hopefully there needs to be a stop eventually to get legal action when it comes to cheating. For some reason.
I'm happy this ball's rolling, because whenever I played Final Fantasy 14, I just continuously got messaged by gold bots the entire time.
Oh, yes.
That was really annoying.
Final Fantasy is actually one of the worst games I've played when it comes to gold spamming that weren't Nexon free-to-play titles.
Oh, really?
It was pretty bad. Guild Wars has had... They're like no... And WoW 2 are like known for having very good bot detection algorithms.
But yeah, let's keep an eye on this and maybe come back to it in 7 years when they finally reach a verdict.
$1 per cheat.
$1 per cheat. Alright, I only have one more, so I'm gonna reach in there, pull it out.
You're gonna reach on in?
Reach on in. I don't know if you like Sonic the Hedgehog, but I love Sonic the Hedgehog. And I am slightly confused and worried about this new trailer that came out for the new 3D game they're making called Sonic Forces. I don't know if you've watched the trailer. We can just take some time now if you haven't, and I'll just...
I watched it.
Okay. So it reminds me vaguely of Adventure 2 mixed with Generations, but the apocalyptic landscape reminds me of Crisis City in Sonic 2006, and that does not jive with me. I'm also not a big fan of the logo. I don't know if you've seen the logo, but it seems like Sonic is starting up a resistant movement.
It reminded me of the Red Faction Gorilla.
Yep.
Almost.
Like, Shadow the Hedgehog is gonna come out with his guns, Shadow's back, and they're gonna shoot up some military forces. That's what I'm worried about. I'm getting all these like PTSD moments in my head, and that's why I'm slightly skeptical, and I think that's what most people are feeling.
Yeah.
But the good news is it's coming out for Switch, so I don't have to get an Xbox or play it on my PS4.
You can play it on the go.
Play it on the go.
You can go fast and play it. You can go fast in real life.
Exactly.
You can run and play the game.
Perfect.
Sonic.
Yeah, anyways, that's that. I'll leave the last one up to you.
Alright, so the last one, I mean, it's not too much of a story. It's kind of a story, but the CEO of Telltale Games, so maker of Walking Dead is the most famous one. They've done, they did the Minecraft thing, right? And Game of Thrones thing. But the CEO of Telltale Games, Kevin Bruner, has stepped down from his position. And I don't know if we have any more information on this, but it looks like they're just going on to some, quote, bigger and better. He might be leaving for just personal reasons, but all I know is that the Telltale games those story games have been very successful and very popular and have a great following behind them. So I don't know if they release sales figures, and I'm sure that they're not struggling at all. But I'm just curious as to why he might have stepped down.
I've only played The Walking Dead. I haven't played the Game of Thrones one or the Minecraft one. But I'm just not into that kind of watching experience.
I've never been much for what do they call it? I mean, people call it the Telltale, but it's a not point and click adventure. That makes it sound.
Choose your own adventure while watching a movie.
Kind of interactive story. One of those sort of things. I've never really gotten into it, but I mean, it's a bunch of people love it.
Let us not forget that they also made Sam & Max, right? And
they made the best game ever.
I know what you're gonna say. Say it.
Strong Bad's cool game for attractive people.
No, not that one. I was thinking of Poker Night at the end. Yes.
No, Strong Bad's cool game for attractive people. Yeah, Poker Night Inventory was fun. I'm not too much of a poker guy, but I got into that game a little bit.
That was fun to play because of all the TF2 items you get out of it.
I think that's literally why it got popular, because they got that Sam & Max pistol gun. No, that's from owning the Sam & Max series. I forget what items you got from owning Poker Night, but I remember the Luger Morph or whatever it was called.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I digress.
I actually think Telltale will do okay. The CEO's not a writer, he's not a programmer. I guess he does have some high-level vision, but it seems like they're doing well enough to not really worry about any of that.
Yeah, and it seems like they said that whatever their new CEO is doing, they're going to continue in a great direction or whatever, and I'm sure that the guy's not going to change or guy or girl who comes in is not going to change too much.
Yep. Hey guys, let's stop making money.
Let's make more Batman games.
Fucking Batman games, man.
I don't know, any other things that happened this week? I mean, the news came out today that Nintendo is ramping up the Switch production.
Yep, they're gonna make roughly 2 a day now instead of 1.
2, and they're still gonna keep it limited though. They're only gonna sell 1.
Yeah, they're gonna make 2, but keep the other one for themselves.
Exactly.
Yep.
Gotta keep that supply low so people want it.
I've actually been trying to buy another one, and it's really hard. Like, they're just sold out everywhere, even in the big city, which is kind of depressing, because I really want another one.
Yeah.
For
oh, by the way, as of 1 hour ago, a tweet came out in that EA has changed the Mass Effect stream date embargo from Monday to tomorrow.
Okay.
So we will be getting live streams of Andromeda, and we can all check out the buggy, weird, walkie animation glitches on our own.
Isn't it fucked up? I heard they're not gonna release a day 1 patch, and like that's the final code.
Yeah. This could be bad. I don't know what EA was thinking with this game, but
I mean, you do a good, and then you do a bad, like a real bad. Like, they did a good with Battlefield 1, and now they're doing a real bad.
Is that their marketing strategy? An alternative?
That's their motto.
That's their motto. One good, one bad.
Do a good, do a bad.
Do a good, do a bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I think that's all of the news.
Do we have any more news that you have that came up in the past hour?
No, I don't have Twitter open, unfortunately.
All right.
I don't want to look through it now. So I think we can move on to the second part, where we discuss a retro game that I have picked for the episode. I'm still not sure if we swap back and forth or if I choose all the time. We'll figure it out. But at least for this week, I chose it. And we're going to start it off with a little guessing game. So Albert does not know at all what game I chose.
Ooh.
I hope you did not cheat and look at the spreadsheet by accident.
I did not.
Okay.
I did not.
So let's start off with hint 1, which is the U.S. release date for this game, which is June 29th, 1998.
98.
Yes. It's almost
okay,
20
so
year
it wasn't the game I was thinking of.
What were you thinking of?
I was thinking Advance Wars.
No, that'd be. I don't want to cater to you too much.
Yeah, you said you cater. Okay. Oof.
No, nothing.
The
Then we
release
can
date.
move on to the next hint. I don't want to let you dwell on it too much.
Yeah, don't leave me hanging.
All right. Hint 2 is the publisher, which is Nintendo.
Is it a Kirby game? Oh, is it a 98 Nintendo?
Nothing.
I mean, let's be honest. The 90s were like
prime Nintendo time.
I mean, I know Ocarina of Time came out in 98, right?
No, wasn't that 96?
Let me look it up.
That was
came out in
98.
November 1998.
Okay, I lied.
So another Nintendo game that was released in 98.
But not June. So here, I also have a sound clip.
Oh, this will be easy.
No, it's a very short sound clip.
Oh man, okay.
It's aptly named Hint 1.
Oh, okay, I know immediately.
What is it?
Donkey Kong 64.
So close. Nope.
Wait,
no,
what?
Nope. Yeah, I thought you were gonna get it right away. I got really scared. Alright, so I sent you Hint 2.
Oh, Banjo-Kazooie!
Yes!
Oh, that's what I meant to say! Oh man, I was thinking, okay. Banjo-Kazooie.
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 Let me do a little intro for the game. A platformer collectathon game released for the Nintendo 64 on June 29, 1998. It's about Banjo, a male brown honey bear, and his friend Kazooie, a female Breegu? Oh god, I think. Breegle, that lives in his backpack, and they go off to save Banjo's little sister named Tootie.
Yes, from Gruntilda, the witch.
And I guess this was like part of the 3D platforming renaissance, right?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely started with the N64.
Mm-hmm.
That's for certain.
I looked up dates of similar games, and Super Mario 64 came out 2 years before in 96, and then we also had Donkey Kong 64 come out in 99. So Banjo-Kazooie was just smack dab kind of in the middle.
Man in the middle.
And this was also developed by Rare, which they had a really good relationship with Nintendo for the longest time, right?
Yeah, and then they're like, we're going to Microsoft.
And we all know how that went. That went super well.
Yeah, what is it, Nuts and Bolts?
Nuts and Bolts.
Pretty much the only game they made, I think.
Oh, they also made Perfect Dark Zero, never forget.
I've never heard of that ever.
That was a launch title for the 360.
Oh, boy.
It was really bad. No, but let's stick to this game. Banjo-Kazooie got 92 on Metacritic. Well, Metacritic doesn't really matter for old games like this, but it had some good praise, I would say.
It had amazing. Well, I mean, obviously I didn't know the journal, but from nowadays, it's one of the golden titles from the N64, right? Ocarina of Time, GoldenEye, Donkey Kong 64, Mario Kart 64, and then Banjo-Kazooie is right up there.
I actually played it again recently, and I feel like it hasn't aged that well. Mostly from the camera control point of view.
Ooh, I can see that.
But the gameplay's still fun.
Especially mangling with that N64 controller.
Oh god, yeah.
You look at that nowadays, you're like, how did I use that as a kid?
How does this work?
How does that work?
And the lack of an analog stick for the camera just makes it so much worse. Like, it's so hard. But I did enjoy it as a child, so I guess that counts.
I mean, let's get this out of the way. Best music ever.
Yes.
Best music ever.
Best music ever.
What is it? Kirk Grant Hope, right? That's his
Grant Kirkhope? No,
Grant Pop?
Oh, God, this is so...
I'm
Grant Kirkhope.
So sad.
I have it written here. I have a...
Okay.
Grant Kirkhope.
Oh, you cheated.
What was really unique about this game was the fact that they had dynamic music, right? So when you're on Mumbo Mountain or whatever stage you're playing on, and let's say you dive into the water, the music would still play, but it'll kind of like change instruments on you. And I think there were multiple parts of the level that just kind of did that. I actually found a video that I can send over. I'll link the video into the description as well. But did you know that all the tracks can actually be played over each other and it'll still sound like a cohesive song?
Okay, that sounds disgusting. I'm gonna listen to this. They didn't choose my favorite music though. Okay, let me sidetrack here.
Mm-hmm.
What was it called? Oh, how can I? Was it TikTok Woods?
Yes.
Was that the final, the one where Click Clock Woods? Where
Yep.
It changed?
Yes.
That is the best level ever made for an N64 game. The fact, it reminds me, this is a really weird change, but in Ocarina of Time, how you get to see the world in like the adult Link and how everything's all messed up and shitty, and then
Right.
Kid Link, right? It's the same thing where you're like in the summer and you change the season. It's the same level to like spring, and now it's like raining and stuff like that, and the whole environment's changed. I loved it. It was amazing.
Yeah,
Great
it was like
level.
mind-blowing at that time.
I know.
I think the only other game that did something similar was Super Mario 64. They did not do seasons, right? I don't think they had seasons. But they had something similar to like, remember Tiny Big Island or Big Tiny Island? I forget what the level's called. In Super Mario, where depending on which picture frame you jumped in, you were either huge or
yes. You're either
tiny.
huge or exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that one.
I think
Yeah.
Rare took that to the next level and just made it incredible.
Yeah, and I loved it. I mean,
mhm.
there's a lot of mixed reactions on this game genre. Just kind of going back, the collectible, having to get all the notes in a level, right?
Mhm.
And having to get the skull guys and go to Igapokam or whatever it was, right? That was pretty good, wasn't it?
That was really good.
Yeah, and then having to get the little bird guys, those weird dudes, yeah.
The Jinjos.
Jinjos,
yeah.
Jinjos. Yeah. I mean, just this was kind of that. This was like a key staple, and even though it was collectible, the collectible, what?
Collectathon?
What's the term for it? I don't know. Where you collect a bunch of shit.
Collectathon. I think people use collectathon.
Collectathon platformer, right? Like this was like that golden, like a staple in that series.
Yeah, I agree. I think this it's kind of weird. I'm gonna go back to what you said. There's so many things to collect, and a lot of games these days also have that same feature. Like if you play I keep calling it Lara Croft. If you play Tomb Raider, like the new Tomb Raider, there's a shitload of stuff to collect in that game. But the problem is, half of them don't do anything, right? And
like, what do you mean?
Like half of them you just collect for the sake of collecting. But in Banjo-Kazooie, a lot of them had purpose, right?
Oh, everything had purpose. Yeah. Like you couldn't access new levels if you didn't have enough jigsaw puzzles.
Right.
To get to Gruntilda, you needed a certain amount of notes to get through a note door.
Right.
So I mean, you had to do it to beat the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like everything has a purpose in Banjo, but I'm gonna go back to Tomb Raider. There's like these collectible treasures that you do, and all it does is like bump up your percentage and your completion. That's it.
Yeah, I want to go into almost like Breath of the Wild when it comes to the Korok puzzles.
Oh god.
I feel like there's this niche genre of masochistic completionists that just love collecting these things.
Mm-hmm.
And the indie genre has kind of embraced that, and like once in a while games will come out that are like that. And AAA games that include that sort of thing make it an optional thing, like in Tomb Raider or in Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
And I feel like it was interesting to see when the Yooka-Laylee Kickstarter came out, how quickly that game got funded. And I'm worried a little that it will get a little hammered on in terms of reviews, because people mainly funded it for the nostalgia.
Yep.
And when it comes out, they're going to be like, wait, this isn't fun. This is kind of why the genre died out.
Wait, this is not what I wanted. Give me back nuts and bolts.
Yeah, exactly. Where's my nuts and bolts? I found out their latest game they released, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Rare. It was... Oh, crap. Oh, I deleted it. It's Connect Sports Rivals. So that's where Rare has gone.
I actually have some history about the game, which would give more insight onto how awesome Rare was relative to now. So the game actually was supposed to be an SNES game called Project Dream, and they were making it while they were making Donkey Kong Country 2. And they actually made like custom graphics technology to use in the SNES to render all this graphics and maths and all that. And the story was actually completely different. It was about a human being boy named Edison, and he got into trouble with pirates. So there were pirates in the game at some point, which kind of makes sense because there's a pirate level. There's a treasure trove cove, right? That's the name of the level.
Yep.
Eventually, they just scrapped the entire idea. They threw away their graphics tech and just made it on the N64.
Interesting.
And
which came first? Was it this game or Conker's Bad Fur Day?
I think Conker's came out in
first.
2000.
Okay, yeah, I was like, because this was, I think, their first 3D game that they made. Yes, you're right. 2001, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like them moving to N64 did not make things easier because like all their graphics rendering was very, very intensive for the system. So what they did was they were rendering like 64 by 64 pieces for all its textures, which was the highest that N64 could handle, but it ended up fragmenting the memory of the hardware. Mm-hmm. So they ended up creating a proprietary system for the Nintendo 64 that reshuffled the memory in real time. And I think this and Banjo-Tooie are the only games that use that tech in that generation.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. So they went
That's cool.
all out. Rare was known for this, right? Rare Donkey Kong Country 1 for the SNES was fairly advanced for its time as well.
Yeah. In terms of that weird, I wouldn't call it weird, it was a unique art style.
It was like a weird 3D rendering.
It was like weird, not 3D, but almost 3D rendering. But it looked good.
It looked good and it ran well. And you can pinpoint the moment when Rare kind of fell apart, right? Went from this amazing first party to shovelware. I wouldn't. Okay, maybe that's too rude.
I mean, for anyone listening, right? You go through the list of titles that Rare has made, right? We already said Donkey Kong Country, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then Banjo-Kazooie. They made GoldenEye 64, right?
Right.
They made Conker's Bad Fur Day. Let's see, what was the
Perfect Dark.
Perfect Dark, right? Like all these legendary titles for the N64 and I guess SNES. And now they're making Connect Sports Action or whatever the hell that game was. Side note, Yooka-Laylee comes out in 2 weeks. So, 3 weeks. So, we will... I want to when we get to that podcast, I want to talk about that.
Oh yeah, I want to get to that. I want to play that game.
Yeah. Says the non-backer.
Sorry, I spent my $20. No, that should be saved on another episode. Let's not talk about that here.
Wait, we're gonna talk about why not?
No.
We're not gonna have an episode on that game.
No, let's save not on that game. I'm pretty sure that will be
I'll bring
brought
up the
up.
title for you. Want to bring up the title?
No, don't even bring up the title. Just leave it as a secret.
They're gonna
for now.
know.
No,
they're gonna
leave
know.
it as a secret, or else they're not gonna want to come back.
What a retrospective. There's not going to be much of a big perspective. Let's put it that way.
No. Other fun facts that I found was they did not have Kazooie as a character. I actually love Kazooie.
I love Kazooie.
It's a she, right? He?
Yes, it is. It's a bird. It's a female bird.
Female bird. They actually wanted Banjo to be alone, and wings would come out of his backpack randomly, and legs would also come out of his backpack randomly. And
God.
they realize, hey, maybe this is kind of creepy, and we should just put a bird in there. And that's how they made Kazooie.
I mean, it makes more sense than Arms coming out of a backpack.
Yeah.
I mean, but it kind of became their staple, right, of doing that thing. Because then they did Banjo-Tooie was the sequel, which I actually never played, but...
I've actually never played that as well.
It had some weird secrets in Banjo-Kazooie. I remember there's like in the Treasure Trove Cove, there was a room with letters on the ground. And it was like collecting a special key to open up in Banjo-Tooie or something. They had this weird cross. Because, well, was it the stop and swap or something technology?
Yes. You are segueing very well into my notes.
I am so smart. Okay, well, I'll let you go into it. I'm sorry, I'm too good at this.
You're like reading this doc, basically, which is perfect.
And I didn't even look at it.
I know, I was worried. I was like, man, how do I connect all these points together? But you're doing it for me.
I'm your I'm your MC right here.
You're my Windows Movie Maker right now.
I'm your Windows Movie Maker. Here's your little slide transition. Go into it. Talk about the stop and swap.
You're 100% correct. It is called a stop and swap. And what they intended was in Banjo-Kazooie, there'd be these 6 mystery eggs that you collect, right? Along with the ice key. Did you mention the ice key?
I did not. I said key, but I didn't know it was ice key.
Ice key, same thing. And then once you collect all of them, what Rare intended players to do was, if you owned both Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, you can effectively turn off the N64, and the initial models of the hardware kept all the game data in memory for about 10 seconds. And during that 10 seconds, you would plop in Banjo-Tooie, turn on the game, and it would effectively move items from the first game over to the second game, which is fucking insane.
That's such a cool concept.
That's like so rare, like a rare thing to do, right? Just
it's one of those things that, like, in terms of game design, it's like, I don't know, it's weird. It's cool. I try to figure out the word to describe. It's not coming to my head right now.
I mean, even now, there's rarely things like this.
It's using the physical world to impact the game.
Right. They could not do it because Nintendo ended up releasing a new version of the hardware where it only kept the game memory, a game in memory for 1 second.
Was it the DD?
No. It was just like a new iteration of the motherboard. I guess.
Just like a V2. Okay.
Yeah. So, 1 second is obviously not enough. So they ended up scrapping that idea, which is a shame.
Yeah. Would have been cool.
They did bring it back for the HD remake, though, where it...
As in the features? Or?
Yeah, they brought the feature back. Obviously, they're not cartridges because the remake was on Xbox 360. Yes. And they did not make it between Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie. No, I think they did, but it wasn't that much. Most of the functionality came between Banjo-Kazooie and Nuts and Bolts.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh? That's cool. Is there any more I can steal from your script? I don't know what to talk about after this. That game was awesome.
I'm looking.
I mean, I don't know what there's to talk about other than the stupid RNG maze thing, board game thing at the end.
Oh, right at the end?
Yeah, that was painful.
I mean, as a kid, you're not gonna realize that you're supposed to write all these things down.
No, I mean, some of them were horrible. Some of them were like, I say this, and then it made like text of a noise, and it's like, what? Which character said that? And then it's like, here's a picture from a random stage. Where did this come from? It's like,
Oh, there was actually one more thing. Speaking of the final boss, let me try to find the note.
Mega Jinjo?
No. Oh, here we go. Alternate ending. Gruntilda's final spell. She actually misses in the final cut of the game, but originally they wanted her to hit Banjo and turn him into a frog, and there would be a separate part of the game, like a second part, where you play as 2D and you have to get Mumbo tokens to transform Banjo back.
Oh god, dude.
Yeah.
That's like some sort of... what is it called? Ghouls and Ghosts,
Mm-hmm.
where you beat the game once, they have to beat it again.
Yep.
Oh, that's torturous. I'm glad they took that out.
No, I mean, I think that would have been awesome. It's like you think you finished the game, but you...
But how was Tootie out, though? That's the question.
Hmm?
She was still in, like, the jail.
No, it was like... I don't know. I guess they changed the sequence of...
Yeah, it's obviously on... It's not...
Yeah.
We don't know all the details, but... There was that weird cutscene where, like, Tootie, you lose, game over, right? And then Gruntilda turns into the hot girl, and you're like, that ain't so bad. And then you're like, I feel bad. I should probably save my sister.
I was scared of that game over sequence. Actually, a lot of things in that game
Really?
really scared me. I don't know if you had the same feeling, but, like, so much crap in that game scared me.
I don't know why. The mummies, that like when you're walking in the overworld stage, they're like, ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they come out of the coffins, you're like, oh god! Although, best upgrade, by far, Pumpkin. Pumpkin guy.
Pumpkin was good.
Pumpkin was pretty good. I don't remember all of them.
I like Alligator. Alligator was really
Alligator
good.
was good. Alligator's pretty good.
Was Washing Machine a thing? I feel like I've seen it so many times. I don't remember if it was really a thing.
It might have been. It might have been Ikabokum something. But
yeah, during one of Mumbo Jumbo's transformation spells, he will accidentally turn Banjo into a washing machine.
Ah, yes, that was true. I was like, I know you're not crazy. I think I've seen that too.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I really miss all these games that did a lot of fun things and was complete. And
yeah, It's kind of depressing to think that in the video game industry, it's not a bad thing that we take ourselves a lot more seriously as like an art form and as a media, but definitely with that criticality, the need for being serious in a lot of games has gone up, especially for like a AAA game. That you can't just make these fun, wonky games anymore. I mean, you can. But let's be honest, they get nailed and they get picked apart by critics and they don't sell very well. I mean, when's the last time you can think of a game like this that I'm just trying to think, like Wonderful 101, right?
Yep.
The game that game got destroyed. But I heard from a lot of people it was a really fun game, but it did horribly in terms of the critical reviews.
On the other hand, like Splatoon's pretty funky, but that game did really well.
That's true, but I would say I wouldn't say it's in the same kind of character realm. Maybe. Because I mean, it's essentially like you just took a third-person shooter and then just reskinned it
with squids and kids.
Okay, it is kind of wonky.
Yeah, it's pretty
so
screwed
I guess
up.
But I mean, that's kind of almost the outlier, though, right? It happens more often than it doesn't happen very often, essentially.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's all the notes I have. I think you brought it up already, but a lot of the team members that worked on this game left Rare, thank God. Okay, no, I should not throw shade at Rare like this.
I mean, the modern one, yes, you can throw shit.
Okay. They left to make an indie company called Platonic Games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're making a spiritual successor called Yooka-Laylee, and it's made on Unity. That's my only gripe about that game.
Yeah, it does have that. It has that Unity vibe to it.
The Unity clay, I don't know how to describe it, but just feels funky, and I do not like it. Do not want. But hopefully, they'll prove me wrong. They probably rewrote Unity from scratch, knowing them.
I mean, you played it at what, GDC, correct?
Yeah, I played at GDC.
That's a little worrisome. I was going to say, if you played it like maybe 3 or 4 months ago, it might still be polishing, but I mean, GDC was last month. But then again, they were on a test build, so I don't know how old that test build was. They've got like 2 months to polish it up. But I guess it's selling physical copies too, I think, so maybe not.
Yes.
We'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll see. Fingers crossed.
It'll have Grant Kirkhope music in either way, so, I mean, we're good.
If anything, just close your eyes and listen to the music.
There you go. Dude, you can pick that music out anywhere.
Yeah. I was really scared you actually got it from that first hint, which is
No,
literally
I was
one
going
note.
to. I thought of it, but I said Donkey Kong 64, and I meant to say Banjo-Kazooie, and they're both rare games, and they're both the same freaking composer.
All right, I'll give you half a point for that then.
Okay.
Half a point.
Were there any more hints, by the way?
There was one more hint.
Oh, okay. I would have gotten that. No, I thought you were gonna do maybe the when you're on Kazooie's things, it goes. Burp, 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 burp,
Oh, that thing. Actually,
that noise.
part of preparation for this episode was like, do I practice that voice? Because
you should have done ikampokam.
no,
That
I
was
think,
easy to do.
but I think you covered for me very well with Mumbo, so I was a little bit more relieved. Because I remember when we were talking a few months ago, I was just making random Kazooie sounds.
Oh yeah, you're pretty good.
But I don't think my throat is not in a good state right now, so I don't think I can do it anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, you got it.
Awesome. And I think that's it for this episode.
All right.
How'd that feel?
To quote a man from a game called Xenoblade Chronicles named Shulk, I'm really feeling it.
And that's it. And that's it, folks. I'm really feeling it.
Oh, why do you have to end on that? I could do another one.
No, that's our thing now. I'm really feeling it. Thanks for tuning in.
I'm really feeling it. And I hope they are too.